one example of deception in the world, of course, is the World Economic Forum. They're having their little shindig, and that is coming up next week from the 16th to the 20th. Of all the people that we've seen that are going to be invited, there was one conspicuous name, and that is Mr. Brian Kemp from the GOP state of Georgia, which is becoming maybe not GOP. He came out triumphant after beating Abrams, and now he's going to go rub elbows with the globalist. And of course, Gretchen Whitmer had been there, the governor of Michigan. Now he's there. Now, can any of you tell me, why is he going there? What is Brian Kemp trying to accomplish there? And some of the things that the World Economic Forum is going to be talking about is going to be equity, of course, climate change. It's going to be about ESG, and maybe that's the hook there. Brian Kemp has always been a globalist globalist light. And but there's a litany of people going there: Christopher Wray, Joe Manchin, John Kerry, Kristen Sinema. But the one I want to ask is about Brian Kemp. Jacob, you can start there. We'll go to David after that. You can comment on Kemp, or you can comment on the other list of luminaries that are going to be there.
Well, first of all, the list of luminaries should come as no surprise, including Mr. Kemp. Mr. Kemp is a rhino. He's presently the kingpin rhino along with Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is the rhino for the kingpin for the West. Mr. Kemp is the kingpin rhino for the East. These are Republicans in name only. I call them something different. I call them Democrats who sit on the opposite side of the aisle. They're in the tradition of John McCain and people like that. They are in no sense conservatives. They are no ideological sense Lincolnite Republicans. They're not that. They're just politicians. They're purely political animals. And that is what Mr. Kemp is. Because he was triumphant, he was included in the guest list, but let's understand why. One of the states responsible for the election of Joe Biden and that refused to have a proper recount and a proper investigation into what happened was Georgia. And that was largely because of the Secretary of State of Georgia and Mr. Kemp. So you have an anti-Bush, an anti-Trump, pro-Bush, but he'd be like Bush, but an anti-Trump Republican who helped get Biden elected, or more importantly to them, kept Trump out. Donald Trump ran against the establishment. He ran against the World Economic Forum. He ran against globalism. He was a corporate magnate himself, a businessman. He knew what it was. He understood how the system worked, and they hated him. He was a threat to the swamp, and he stood up to the WEF and its agenda. And Mr. Kemp was one of their chief agents within the Republican Party of giving it to the party and to Donald Trump in the back. It was Romney in the West, and it was Kemp in the East. That is why he's there.
What do you think, David?
Well, it's so crazy that so many Republicans are going, like Pat Toomey, ex-senator, congressman, the new senator, Republican from, I believe it's Colorado. I can't remember her name, but they're going. But you have heads of state, foreign affairs people, finance. It's just this whole international organizations are coming together, NGOs, people from the energy sector, the environmental sector. All these are coming together to control everything and to cooperate. I believe if the name of this one is cooperation in, if you could help me out there, in a crazy world or a dysfunctional
world.
A chaotic world. Yeah. So if they can control every form of government and our lives, well, they're in charge and the table has been set for Antichrist.
Of course. George Soros is a key player, very much at the center of it, along with, of course, Harari and Schwab. But what we also note is the following. These people are coming together, irrespective of political ideology, irrespective of political party. They're coming together for some common purpose. And they're going to actively pursue it in their agendas. So it doesn't matter what they say when they run for office or what they do. Watch what people do, not what people say.
That's right.
What's going to happen very clearly is they're going to construct a plutocratic techno-feudalism. We are going to see a plutocratic techno-feudalism.